Hey everybody, this is Sam, and I'm going to be introducing the Windows operating system group. Today we're going to be starting off with the lineage of Microsoft Windows. So let's get started. Whoops, that's Mac. Sorry, wrong video. 1975 and 1981, birth of Microsoft and MS-DOS. Microsoft starts off in 1975 and MS-DOS is born 5 years later, or in 1980 for those who can't count. For those wondering what MS-DOS stands for, it stands for Microsoft Disk Operating System, for those who don't know. From 1982 to 1985, it's the Windows 1.0 series. Microsoft begins a new operating system called Interface Manager, which would eventually be named Windows, simply because their users would be navigating through Windows to do their work. Microsoft announced its release in 1983. In 1985, 2 years after the initial launch of the first Windows operating system, Windows 1.0 is released with a desktop and a point-and-click mouse as opposed to the MS-DOS commands that many people would be accustomed to at the time. Drop-down menus, scroll bars, icons, and dialog boxes make their appearance on Windows 1.0. In MS-DOS file management, Paint, Notepad, Calculator, Windows Writer, Card File, Calendar, Clock, and the game Versi are shipped with 1.0. 1987 to 1992, Windows 2.0 to 2.11. In 1987, Microsoft releases Windows 2.0 with desktop icons and expanded memory. With improved graphics support, you can now overlap windows, use keyboard shortcuts, and control the screen layout that would improve the workflow and speed of its use. By 1988, Microsoft would be considered the world's largest PC software company based on sales. In 1990 and 1994, Windows 3.0 series and Windows NT comes out. Let's start off with the Windows 3.0 series. Microsoft announces Windows 3.0 in 1990, followed shortly by Windows 3.1 in 1992. With both of them combined, Microsoft manages to sell over 10 million copies, making this the most widely used Windows operating system yet. Program Manager, File Manager, and Print Manager make their debut in Windows 3.0. With the Software Development Kit, or SDK, released to developers, Windows 3.0 increases in popularity as the said developers begin to create software programs as opposed to writing device drivers like they used to. Solitaire, Hearts, and Minesweeper also make their appearance on the 3.0 series, giving users more incentive to goof off on their computers. Windows NT releases in 1993, an advanced new operating system built from scratch. This operating system is capable to operate high-end engineering and scientific programs. In 1995 to 2001, is the release of Windows 95 and the beginning of the Internet capabilities. On 1995, Windows 95 is released with a record-selling 7 million copies sold within the first 5 weeks of its launch date. This operating system is also the most publicized operating system, covered by the Rolling Stones with their song Start Me Up, over images of the new Start button. Windows 95 features built-in internet support, dial-up networking, and plug-and-play capabilities that makes it easier to install hardware and software. Windows 95 spawns the first appearance of the Start menu, taskbar, minimize, maximize, and close buttons on each window. It should be also mentioned that with the internet becoming more popular, Internet Explorer also became the first appearance on this operating system. In 1998 to 2000, Windows 98, Windows 2000, and Windows Me comes out. Let's start with Windows 98. Released in 1998, Windows 98 is the first version of Windows geared toward consumers who work at home and work. Windows 98 can find needed information faster on the computer, an ability to open and close programs faster, and is able to support DVD disc and USB formats. The Quick Launch Bar also makes its first appearance, able to launch programs faster without having to open and browse the original Windows Start menu or looking for it on a desktop. Now we're going to move on to Windows ME, or Me. Windows Me is designed for home consumers that often watch videos and listen to music. The System Restore menu, Windows Movie Maker, and Windows Media Player 7 are first introduced. Now we're going to move on to Windows 2000. Are you still with me? Besides being designed to replace Windows 95, 98, and NT, it also improves the ease of use of internet compatibility and mobile computing. Improving the plug-and-play hardware that includes advanced networking and wireless products, Windows 2000 supports USB devices, IEEE 1934 or FireWire devices, and infrared devices. You probably didn't know this, but Windows 2000 was released on, well, to manufacturers, it was actually December 15, 1999, and for actual retail, it was February 17, 2000. Haha, I bet you didn't know that. Moving on to 2001 to 2005, Windows XP. We're almost there. In 2001, Windows is completely redesigned with a more fast and stable operating system. With a unified help and support center, users are more aware of malicious malware and viruses that are often battled back by Windows' constant security updates. Moving up to 2006 to 2008, Windows Vista. Windows Vista is released with the strongest security system yet. Launched in 2006, this version comes with a redesigned Start menu and Windows Multimedia Player. Now we're going on to 2009, Windows 7. Windows 7 was released with the support for the wireless world that arose in the late 2000s. As laptops were outselling more than desktop users, and that internet hotspots were starting to pop up in the public areas, with the feature of Windows Touch, Windows 7 is the first operating system to work with the touchscreen users. Now we're in 2012, Windows 8. And for those of you who haven't noticed, this is 2013 and we're still live. Yes! With the release of Windows 8 in 2012, this operating system is balancing out to both touchscreen and those still using the mouse and keyboard desktops. The original desktop is now completely redesigned into a type of tile menu that brings the internet and you closer by giving you faster access to friends, files, apps, and websites through the main screen. So that's it for the Windows lineage. I'm going to hand this off to Stephen Warrior for the rest.